So I think that's another thing that I really encourage my clients to do, is to find out their reason for speaking. For me, it's connect in some way to Buddhism. For others, it might connect to human potential, or to not wanting to waste life, or any number of different reasons. But when you know the reasoning at the centre of your speaking, you become someone who's sticking up for something. You have a grander purpose. And it's useful to have a grander purpose than just yourself, because public speaking is scary. So if it's just, here is the fear and here is my reason for speaking, then you're not going to speak, because there's just not enough motivation or energy. But if your fear level is here and your reason to speak is more important, is higher than that fear, then you're going to say, okay, I'm scared of this and I'm going to do it anyway. And then I suppose the next question that people ask me is, well, how on earth do you deal with that? Well, how do you get there? But what if I'm working in a company and I don't have a grand purpose to my career? I'm not working for a charity. I'm just doing a bit of corporate work to pay the mortgage. People often say, how do I find that meaning in such a dry job, let's say? And I think actually, in some ways, these are the more important places to find that meaning. Even a small amount of meaning in a corporate environment will change things massively. And it could be the meaning of, I really care about people. And so every time I speak, I want to show my audience that I care about people, whether that's a financial report or the next round of redundancies that I have to announce. How can I use that core purpose of caring for people to colour in some way the way that I communicate? Again, that's a way of taking it deeper. And then you wanted to know how do you get there?
Yeah, I could imagine for somebody who hears that, and okay, it's great to have a higher purpose, but right now I don't know what that might be. So is there a way that helps me find that?
Yeah. Ask. Ask yourself, what is my sense of purpose around this? And it's an investigation, and for me it's a lifelong investigation that is like unpeeling the layers. And with each layer you go a little bit deeper. So every time you are operating in the world, you can ask yourself, why am I doing this? Am I doing it just because I have to, or is there something about this that I care about? Why did I decide to have a family? Why did I decide this particular job? Why did I just stop and talk to that stranger on the street? Why did I want to watch that movie versus another movie? They're all clues of our sense of meaning that we construct around ourselves.
So each time we make a decision and go either one way or the other, there's a hint there, because it's connected to something inside us, which we base our decision on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
So it's
maybe you know something about that as well.
Our values. Well, through the program, through your program, I really had to think about that, because it's about in the last few weeks and months I've been sweating on creating my inspirational speech, and so one thing I realized is that the moments where I had to go through, or where I went through a really big challenge, something bad happened in my life, or I made a decision despite external challenges, there was something in there which showed me I did that because it was important to me, or I showed my true colors in that somehow. And so I think, so my strategy was to look for crucial moments in my life where I made an important decision, and what was driving that decision. Why did I feel drawn towards that path rather than the other? And that gets me closer to the meaning or my sense of values. Yeah. That's
also a great way to find your story as well. The story in your life, or little anecdotes that you can pull together to make meaning within a speech. So yeah, if you're trying to construct a powerful story, it's always those moments of drama, or those moments of tension, or those moments where you couldn't get what you wanted, that signal to the audience, oh, this is interesting, this has drama. If everything is too easy, then it's not interesting for us anymore. And I think we can all use as you're doing already, we can all use our our life to provide inspiration, you know.
So for the viewer, somebody who's sitting there has to do presentations once in a while, maybe is a little bit scared of that, and maybe wants to do something different and improve on their public speaking. What are some things that you say as 2 or 3 recommendations that somebody can try?
What we're really mindful of in our programs is that the way that the body functions, if it doesn't feel safe, it cannot perform well. So our approach is to first give people a sense of their qualities, first give them a sense of this is what's great about you and this is your potential as a speaker, these are the ways in which you might be really good at this. And then of course we give suggestions of, you know, maybe take your hand out of your ear and you know, maybe look at the audience once in a while, but it's starting from a place of building a foundation of confidence that allows people to know that they can do it. So I think that's another really important thing for people to emphasize within themselves when they start to speak. Look for all the ways that you can speak already. Look for all of the situations in life where you do engage another person, whether that's, you know, a loved one, or whether that's after a few drinks in the pub, or whether that's at a team meeting. If you can do it in one situation, it's not too much of a leap to think that you can do it in public speaking. You just need a little bit of practice and help along the way.
Anything else? Anything practical in terms of how to prepare for a talk? A little structure, something that would improve the quality of a presentation?
Yeah, let me tell you briefly about the hero's journey structure that we teach. To construct a talk, we should imagine that it's like going on a journey. So we need a starting point to that journey. We need some really exciting things that happen on that journey. And then when we get to the end of that journey, we need to feel like we have in some way changed. So that might be that you've taken your audience on a story where you were the character and you changed. Or it might be that they have gone on a journey with you to understand how to think or feel differently about your subject. So that's a very, very basic way to understand brilliant script writing or speech giving. And the important thing, I think, always to remember is how can you make each step of the way as compelling as possible. Often speakers get into too conceptual a mindset. They talk in abstractions rather than giving visual, sensorial things that the audience can grasp. So think about metaphors, think about tastes and textures and colours that you can bring to your speaking if you want to be really vivid.
Okay, great. That sounds really good. And there's one thing that we did on the workshop that I really crashed and burned on, and then really enjoyed eventually. We drew a little card with a word written on it. So I thought, if you're up for it, I give you a word, and then you have 30 seconds to do a little
spontaneous speaking. Go.
You're up for it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The word is communication.
So you want me to tell a story about communication?
Yeah.
Okay, once upon a time. No.
Yeah, well, sorry. Well,
give me a framing.
Yes, do an inspirational piece on communication in 30 seconds.
Okay, what, like about inspiring speaking or just about anything?
About communication, whatever.
Okay. Communication is a love of mine because how else do we interact with the human world? It is the most moving, or it could be the most dull experience ever to sit and listen to somebody who is talking about themselves as opposed to talking about their audience. So if we're looking for communication that has power, we look for stories, we look for methods and ideas that have innovative aspects of it. And I feel like I'm just ranting.
That's 30 seconds.
Yeah. Of course, we would really look for a story if I was going for the spontaneous speaking.
I was a bit mean, I put you on the spot. That was not planned.
I put you on the spot when we did it in the class.
Yes.
So fair enough.
Yes, I really, I couldn't get a word out initially.
Really?
Skeletons.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think if I take anything from what I just did, it would be that if we start speaking, then at some point we start making sense. And if I kept on speaking, then I might get to a little story. What stops us from having our power is when we go, oh gosh, I've got to take this seriously. I'm being filmed now, so I have to do something sensible, and it's being recorded, so it must be really good. And it's that pressure of trying to be good that actually stops us from being good.
Ironically.
Yeah, very ironically. When we're at our most relaxed and we give permission to so much of our personality, that's when our audiences feel us and like us and understand and take in our message.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, if you are interested in finding out more about Sarah's work, go to the website
www.pub.
What's the website?
It's the website is. Do you want to start again?
No, keep going.
Okay, the website is gingerpublicspeaking.com.
gingerpublicspeaking.com. And you have a one-day taster workshop to find out about your work. And then you have a 4-day or 3-day TED Talk?
Well, it's a month long.
It's a month long,
yeah.
Okay. TED Talk workshop, and then a 6-month Inspirational Speakers workshop.
Yeah, which features Ragnar and finishes in a gala finale.
Yes, please don't come.
So that your video will be online after, when do you graduate? It's April, isn't it?
April, yeah.
So after April, all these lovely people will be able to see you doing your 10-minute inspiring piece of speaking.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
It'll be awesome.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Yeah, that's in the can.